Hi guys, it's LeJanaro. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Also hit the like button on this video and the notification bell so you'll be notified each time I post a new video. So today I've decided that I'm going to participate in Sew Your View. If you don't know what Sew Your View is So Monica's, I don't know what it's called, but she picks a pattern once a month, and if you want to participate, you go get the pattern, you sew it up, you take photos, you use certain hashtags and different things, and you'll be featured on her Sew Your View page. So I'll link That's So Monica and the Sew Your View page in the description box below so you can see how they do it. Not sure if I'm explaining it very well, but yeah, I participated a couple of times, always been late. But she's very gracious. She will still, post your picture and everything like that. But I have decided that I'm going to do it, and I'm going to be on time with it. And the only way that I'm going to do it is by recording. Accountability. So this month for October 2021, the Sew Your View pattern is McCall's 8241. All right. I am going to make view A of the pattern, and I'm going to use this black ponte knit. And the reason I'm using black is because I know that I will wear black. I don't want to make it in something else that I don't know that I'm going to wear or like. So I'm going to start with the safe option, and if I like it, I like how it turns out, and I want to make more, I'll try to find a fabric that in a different color or a print or something that I may want to wear. So for view A, there's not very many pieces to this pattern at all. I trimmed this pattern a couple of weeks ago after I got it. There's only 4 pieces to the pattern: the front, the back, the collar, and the sleeve band. All right. And of course, if you want to do a different view, you just look on the pattern piece and cut your fabric according to the line that corresponds with the view that you want to do. But I'm just going to sew view A. That's the simplest one, because I'm not going to do any fringe or anything like that. I think it's cute, but I'm not gonna do it. So I'm gonna take my pattern pieces out, and I'm gonna switch to a different angle in a minute. But what I'm going to do, since I'm doing view A, I'm looking for cut here for view A, and I'm just gonna fold my pattern piece up that way I don't have to worry about it. I'm gonna do the same thing with the other piece, the front and back pieces. And I'm saying I'm doing this in this fabric. I hope I got enough fabric, because the pattern pieces are pretty big. Even you cut them on the fold, but they're still pretty big pattern pieces. So I'm gonna take this piece and do the same thing. I'm gonna just look for the line on the pattern piece that says cut here for view A. Cut here for A, and just fold it down. All right. So the pattern will have everything you need as far as the type of fabrics that they recommend, the seam allowance, the amount of fabric that you need, measurements, everything. You can find all of those things in the pattern instructions or on the pattern envelope. The only thing that I think I may have trouble with is trying to figure out the sleeve, but I think it seems pretty straightforward. I might be making a little bit too much out of it in my head, so we'll see how it goes. I think this is one of the patterns that is going to be very important to mark your notches and your circles on your fabric, because that's going to help you to put the sleeve in the correct place, because the front and back pieces, sewing those two pieces together, are going to be a breeze, but it's going to be when you have to add the sleeve. I don't think it'll be difficult. I just think I'm going to have to pay attention to what I'm doing. So I always give y'all this disclaimer. This is not a tutorial. I haven't decided whether I'm going to be talking in this video or if I'm just going to be recording, talking now, but yeah, so I haven't decided that yet. I'll decide that during the editing process. Anywho, I'm going to get started by cutting out my fabric and then start putting this together. Still need to go outside and take photos. So I probably will just stand outside my door against the wall there and try to take pictures. Only problem is it's there's not really a lot of light right there, so I'll have to figure that out, whether I want to do some editing to the photo or if I just want to find another spot. Anyway, let me get started by cutting out my fabric. So let's go over the pieces I have cut. This is the piece number 3, the collar, and you cut 1 on the fold. All right. This is piece number 4. The sleeve band, and you cut 2. This is huge. This is piece number 1. This is your front. You cut 1 on the fold, and then the last one is piece number 2, the back. You cut 1 on the fold. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do I'm going to do some pinning. I'm going to take my collar, and where I cut my fabric with right side spacing. You have a free end here. You also have some notches that you cut. I'm going to pin down this edge because I'm going to sew down this edge. Y'all know I like to do the batch sewing. Alright, so I'm going to sew down that edge. Set that aside. My sleeves. Right? The way that you are going to fold your sleeves, you have two pieces. I'm actually going to fold a different way because of that little spot there. I thought I cut around that, but so you take your sleeve and you fold it this way because you're going to sew here to here. All right. So I'm just going to pin. So make sure you fold it the right way. Okay, that's one. Here's the other. And next, you take your front and back pieces. You're gonna attach them at the shoulder seams. So I'm just gonna open it up. Here's your neck here. Pieces are huge, so sorry if some of it is off camera. I'll try to slide it over to let you see where I pin. But I'm just going to place them with right side spacing. You have a notch, match up your notches, and pin. I'll let you know in just 1 second how far you pin down at your shoulder seams. Alright, now you're going to do this on both sides. You are going to pin from your neckline all the way down, and that's where you're going to sew from your neckline all the way down. That's considered your sleeve. And then on the side, you have, there's a notch here, and then you have two notches here. Both pieces have two notches. This is where you pin. You pin at the two notches, and then you should have two dots that you marked because you're going to sew from dot to dot. And you're going to do that on both sides. So first you're going to sew from your neckline all the way down. Then on the side, you're going to sew from dot to dot. All right, and remember, the two notches are your reference that you know where to start pinning, and then you have your dots to show you where you're gonna start and stop sewing. All right, you pin that together. Do that on both sides. And to recap, the sleeve band, fold them in half and you sew here to here, and then your neck band, sew down this edge. All right, I'm gonna go get all this sewn together. Then I'm gonna come back and show you how to add the sleeve bands. All right, so I got everything sewn together. All right, so take your collar. This is the edge that you sewed together. You're just gonna place the wrong sides together. You're gonna fold it in half, place the wrong sides together, and you should have 2 notches. You should have a notch on each side that matches up. Right? So you're just making it look like a collar. I'm going to take this to the ironing board and give it a good press. Your sleeve, this is the edge that you sewed. I just like to place my arm on the inside of the opening and just bring them together. The wrong sides are facing. Right. Straighten this out, then take it to the ironing board. Give it a good press. Right. I have the other one here. I'll do it again. So this is the edge that you sewed. Here's the opening. Just stick your arm through the opening. Right. And just pull down the other end so that they're wrong sides facing. All right. We'll take it to the ironing board and give them a good press. All right, so I'm going to now add the collar to the front and back piece. So I'm going to turn my front and back piece to the right side. All right, I have 2 notches here on the front, and I have 2 notches on my collar. So you're just going to take your collar and you're just going to slide it onto your the neck of your front and back piece. Right, so I just kind of scrunch the front and back piece up and slide the collar on. So I'm just going to pin this all the way around, starting at my notches. Once I get this pin, I'll show you how to pin one of the sleeves, and you'll do the same, the other sleeve the same way. I kind of wish there were notches on the back also, but they're not. It might have been some dots to mark. I can't remember from cutting out the pattern. But anyway, just continue to pin till you get it pinned all the way around. Use as many pins as you need to. When I'm dealing with 3 layers, I like a lot of pins just to make sure I get all 3 layers. Alrighty. So now your sleeve. So remember, you sewed all the way down the shoulder seam, and then you sewed a little section here, from here to here, from dot to dot, right? So this part here makes up your sleeve, and you're going to slide your sleeve band onto this part, right? Might feel a little awkward at first, but you'll get it. You have notches, or you should have notches. Dealing with black fabric sometimes, there it is. Like, where is my notch? Right, and you should have a notch here. So that's where you're gonna line up your notches. All right. So I did that kind of fast. So I'm just scrunching up my little sleeve area here, and I'm taking my sleeve band and I'm just kind of sticking it on here and sliding it down. Right, getting it on enough so that I could find my notches and line them up. Once you get your notches pinned, then just pin the rest of the way around, and then you'll sew around. And like I said, it's gonna feel a little awkward at first because of how the sleeve hole is made, but you'll get it on there. Okay, so just continue to pin around. I hope you guys can see that. I think I have my camera zoomed in a little too much. But again, black fabric makes everything harder to see. Alright, and then I'm going to pin the other sleeve band onto the other sleeve area the same way. I'm going to take it to the sewing machine. I'm going to sew around, and I'm also going to sew around my collar. Alright, so I have my collar and both my sleeves done. So I'm just going to flip my collar up. Right, so there's my collar. And my sleeve band, I'm just going to pull it down. I serged all of my edges. Right. There's one sleeve. There's the other sleeve. The sleeve is going to seem kind of awkward to sew because you're going to have seam allowance from here. But just spread the seam allowance out and just keep sewing around when you're doing the sleeve band. I promise it works out. Alright, so you're not going to be able to see this because of how wide this is, but all you have to do now, I'm going to take it to the ironing board, give it a good press. But only thing you have left to do is to hem. So you already have, I hope you guys can see this. You already have a little seam allowance turned in here from when you sewed dot to dot. So go ahead and turn that seam allowance in. Give it a good press. And then you're gonna do the same thing. So you turn it in, give it a good press. Then you do the same thing all the way across the bottom. Now, I have a serger, so I'm going to serge my raw edges. So all I have to do is turn this in once. So more than likely I'll turn this in, sew down, just so this will stay in place after I press it. But all the way across the bottom, and this is a lot because the thing is huge. But if you don't have a serger, what you can do, you can turn your bottom under twice. Alright, so you take it, you turn it once, and then you turn it twice, and that'll give you a pretty good clean edge that you can sew on. Alright, and when you turn it once, it's going to be a little time consuming, but when you turn it once, press it, that way it stays in place, and then turn it again and press again. That way it stays in place all the way down. And then you take it to the sewing machine, and then you just sew your hem all the way down. So you got to do this on both sides. So front and back. You have that little seam allowance already turned in, so turn that in, sew all the way down, flip it over, and you got to do the other side. So again, you already got a little seam allowance here pre-made for you. Turn that in, press, and I'll go ahead and sew mine just so it'll stay in place. And then I'm going to serge my edges, and then I'm just going to turn it up once and just sew. But if you don't have a serger, again, turn it up once, press, turn it up again, press again. And that's about a half an inch that I turned up. Or you can turn it up, let's see, you can do about 3/8 of an inch and then turn it up again. All right, depends on you, but just make sure you do a nice clean hem. Because I'm serging my edges, I actually don't have to do a hem if I don't want to, but I think I will just to kind of finish it off. All right, guys, that is it for this, what is it called? It is called a Mrs. Top. So that is it for this top. I will make sure I put pictures at the end of the video so you'll see what it looks like. I may even record. I might not do that. But I'll definitely put some pictures. It's hard to show you the whole thing because it's so huge on the table. But I will definitely make sure that I take some photos and show you what the end result is. All right, guys. So that is it. Overall thoughts. This is a very easy pattern to sew. McCall's 8241. This is a very, very easy pattern to sew. It is a lot of fabric that you're dealing with, but it's not terribly bad in that way. It's super easy, not even that many steps. You sew the front and the back down the shoulder seam. Then you sew those sides from dot to dot. You sew up your sleeve bands and your neck band, and you attach all of those things, and you hem. It's very, very straightforward pattern. I did look at the pattern instructions when I was getting ready to do the sleeves, just to make sure, because I had an idea in my head, but I was like, this is gonna be a little awkward. But yeah, pattern instructions are good. I do recommend this pattern for beginners, for not beginners. Like I said, this is the Sew Your View pattern for October. And again, I'll link all of the information. I'll link that Sew Monica's page. I'll link the Sew Your View page. I think they also have a Facebook page. But it's basically, you grab the pattern, you sew it up, you take pictures, you tag them in your photos, and then they feature you on their page. So yeah, like I said at the end of the video, it's difficult for me to show it to you. I have to actually take pictures. See, I can't even find my sleeve. I have to actually take pictures to show you. I still need to hem it. I did serge around my edge, but I haven't hemmed it yet. So I still need to hem it, give it a really good press, and then throw on some jeans and more likely some boots or something, and take some pictures in it. But I like it. That's something that I could wear, even if you just, like, let's say I have on this t-shirt and it's short sleeve, but if I go into a restaurant and it's really cold in the restaurant, I take this with me, throw it over the top of my t-shirt, and I'm warm in the restaurant. So you can either wear it as just a regular top, or you can wear it, you know, you can bring it with you to slip it over something, just in case you're cold somewhere. But yeah, I like it. I like it. I think you'll like it too. Hopefully this video was helpful. If you decide to make this, hopefully the instructions are clear that I'm giving you, and you don't have a hard time sewing it. If you have questions, you can put them in the comments below for me. But yeah, I do recommend that pattern. So at the end of my videos, I'm going to start asking you all a question of the day. Now, I probably have one video that I'm going to upload that won't have a question of me asking you the question. I'll type it in the comments because I've already recorded that video. I just need to edit it. I got to do some other stuff before I post that video. So it may be a while before I post that video. So if you don't hear me say a question of the day, just check the comments and I'll put the question of the day in there. And I'll be pulling this from 3,000 questions about me. Trying to see if it has an author in here. It says this was published by Piccadilly. That's what it says. I don't see an author on the front or the back. Yeah, it just says Piccadilly. So anyway, this is what it looks like on the front. 3,000 questions about me. So I'm just gonna ask you all a question of the day. Question of the day. What is your idea of perfect happiness? All right. So let me know your answer in the comments. Perfect happiness for me is just my relationship with God, me, my family, friends, their families, that we're all in good health and that we are, pursuing the things that we want in life. And, we're able to be healthy physically, mentally, spiritually, all of the things. Health, I always say health as well. Having a good relationship with my family. Those are the things that make up perfect happiness for me. All right, so let me know in the comments your answer. If you like this video, click the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe and also hit the notification bell so you'll be notified each time I post a new video. And I will see you in the next one.